Ask any plugged-in media type around the Denver Broncos even a month ago, and you would have been told that Justin Simmons coming to terms with the team ahead of the franchise tag deadline was a matter of course. Considering GM John Elway's track record and the precedent he'd set with regard to extending franchise tag players ahead of the deadline, and the fact that Simmons is coming off an all-pro season, and it seemed fait accompli. But in matters of money, things don't always play out as expected in the NFL. For the first time since arriving in the Broncos front office back in 2011, a player Elway has franchise tagged will not receive a multi-year extension and will play out the 2020 season on the tender. Don't feel too bad for Simmons though, as he'll make $11.4 million this year on the tag. For context, in the previous 4 seasons Simmons has played since arriving as a third-round pick in Denver, he made a grand total of $3.069 million. It might only be for 1 year, but that's one heck of a raise. $11.4 million might not be a generational windfall, but it's one heck of a nest egg and it's fully guaranteed. The two sides have exchanged proposals, but whatever Simmons' side asked for, it was too rich for Elway's blood. Maybe Elway's reticence has something to do with the expected revenue drop in the NFL this season. Maybe it doesn't. According to KUSA's Mike Kliss, the Broncos believe the offer they made to Simmons was more than fair and would have put him in the top 5 or top 6 highest paid at the safety position. Simmons declined, and maybe Elway is reluctant because the GM wants to make sure that the still young safety wasn't a one-year wonder. Whatever the motivations for Elway were to rebuff Simmons' counterproposal, it automatically now devolves into a bet-on-yourself situation for the player. Simmons has his reasons for not accepting the team's offer, and he'll now get the chance to not only make a ton of money this year, but if he can follow up his All-Pro season with yet another high-profile campaign in his second year in Vic Fangio's defense, untold riches await in 2021. Following the 2020 season, the Broncos could franchise tag Simmons again, but it would come with a sizable increase in cost, or the team could allow him to hit the open market, which, in Elway's case, almost always means that player is gone. The two sides could come to terms on an extension, but they'll have to wait until late into the 2020 season. Elway will get to analyze a larger sample size on Simmons, while the player will get to put more on film for all 32 NFL teams. Simmons wants to be a Bronco. We're told the Broncos want Simmons around for the long haul. For whatever reason, though, the two sides couldn't get on the same page financially to convert those platitudes into a reality. I have to wonder how much of the failure to come to an accord has to do with the Broncos' new cap guru and chief negotiator, Rich Hurtado. Hired this past spring, Hurtado came from the player agent side and had a sterling reputation. Hurtado replaced Mike Sullivan, who spent 7 years with the Broncos and was responsible for negotiating the 4 previous franchise tag players under Elway. Those 4 players received top-of-the-market offers and re-signed. Despite Hurtado's experience on the player side, though, his negotiations failed to close the deal. It takes 2 to tango, though. Remember that. Simmons declined. Hurtado and Elway, they didn't budge. Hopefully the Broncos can avoid any fallout, and Simmons balls out in 2020. Only time will tell. For Mile High Huddle and Sports Illustrated, I'm Chad Jensen.